How are you?
Hi. Okay, we are live now. So
I apologize. We're having some networking issues in South Orange Maplewood School District, so I'm using my hotspot in order to do the Google Hangout.
we
That's
understand.
why I couldn't get in. So I wanted to welcome everyone to the virtual debate on gun control. This is South Orange Middle School, 6th grade, 4th period class. And the school that we're going against is Somerville Middle School. If you guys want to say hi.
Say hi.
And I want to give the judges an opportunity to introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with Mr. Curry, Brad Curry.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brad Curry. I am the K-8 Supervisor of Instruction for the Chester School District in Chester, New Jersey, which is in Morris County. Been in education for 15 years, and I'm a big fan of Mrs. Butler and Mrs. Malaspina, and I look forward to a great debate today.
Thank you. And then we'll keep moving to Mr. Eitner, Superintendent.
Hi, guys. My name is Jay Eitner. I'm a superintendent of schools down in the Waterford Township School District, located in Camden County, New Jersey. Very happy to be joining you this afternoon and looking forward to hear your debate.
And then moving, I believe it's a class that is judging us. Next to Mr. Eitner on the Google Hangout. If you want to introduce yourself.
That would be Mr. Diaz.
Hi.
Nicholas Diaz from Freeling Heights and Township School District. We're here with our 4th graders and Mrs. May and Mr. Arena, 4th and 5th grade teachers. Say hi, guys.
Hi. Thank you. And then the next one over, Nikki, I know that you have some high school students with you as well.
Hey, I'm Sarah Matar, and we're from Madison, Alabama, and we are in the James Clemens debate team.
Thank you for joining us. Before we start, I do want to remind everyone, while it is a debate and we're competing against one another, the true reason why we have this virtual debate is to provide an authentic experience for both schools. So they've gone through extensive research of nonfiction text. They've had an opportunity to write their debate, and now they're having an opportunity to actually engage in a conversation about the argument of gun control. So I want both sets of students to realize that while it's a debate, the most important part of this debate is you walking away with the tools that you need in society even, not even just in school, because you need to have those research skills. You need to have those writing skills, and surely you need to have argument skills in life. So we're going to start the debate. We have a moderator, Ms. Phillips.
Hi, everyone.
From South Orange Middle School, and she will be moderating the debate. So good luck to both sides. I am wishing you good luck, and I'm also wishing good luck to Somerville Middle School. Go ahead.
Again, my name is Ms. Phillips, and for round one, the introduction of the school, again, we are South Orange Middle School, and for the opening statement, Somerville, you will have 2 minutes. When I say go, you can begin.
Wait. Okay, get up there. No clapping in between. Yeah, no clapping in between.
Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay, you may begin.
Blacksburg, Virginia, Newtown, Connecticut, Killeen, Texas, San Isidro, California, Austin, Texas. What do these all have in common?
These are the locations of just 5 mass shootings across the U.S. These are the places where the triggers of hate were pulled. These are the places where 121 innocent lives were taken.
What could make a person so violent hard to kill? The answer is simple. The availability and easy access to get guns across America. Around 32,000 people are shot per year, and 20,000 kill themselves.
According to the CDC, from 2000 to 2013, guns have killed more people than AIDS, drugs, wars, and terrorism combined.
Around 1,960 arguments were resulted with a gun death in 2013. Unlike 9 other countries, we don't need a license, registration, safety storage, safety training, or reason to buy a gun. There are over 270 million guns in the United States, but only 897,000 of those guns are possessed by police. The rest of the guns could fall into the wrong hands. The more guns we have, the more death occurs.
According to a Harvard Health study, from 1982 to 2010, mass shootings occurred every 200 days. But from 2011 to 2015, mass shootings occurred every 64 days.
America has the highest gun ownership rate in the entire world. Guns are the 12th leading cause of death in America. 92 citizens are shot per day.
A Harvard Health study also proves that gun sales in America have increased by 20% in the last 30 years.
With stricter gun laws, society will be safer. Less homicides will occur and violence will decrease.
Stricter gun laws will lead to less guns being put in the wrong hands.
Less guns will be used for violence.
The use of guns and suicide will drop.
As a nation, we need to come together and realize that we need stricter gun laws for a happier and safer life.
America doesn't have one gun problem, we have many.
All right, South Orange Middle School, you are up. And you will have 2 minutes, again, for your opening statement. Everybody ready? Okay, you may begin.
On December 14th, 2012, the United States of America school system was shattered with one of the most horrific mass shootings in modern time. 20 innocent children died at Sandy Hook Elementary School, as well as 6 adults. And while many claimed that with more gun control background checks, it would prevent or diminish the number of mass shootings, it is not at all possible. In fact, it is not just wrong, it's simply dishonest, because it is violating the Second Amendment, takes power away from the people to protect themselves, and they will still lack the moral code.
Sung-Hee Cho, April 16, 2007, 32 people killed. Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University in Blacksburg, Virginia. Pass background check. Jiverly Wong, April 3, 2009, 13 people killed. Binghamton, New York. Pass federal background check. James Holmes, July 20, 2012, 12 people killed. Movie theater in Aurora, Colorado. Guns bought legally at local gun shops.
Wade Michael Page, August 5th, 2012, 6 people killed. Sikh Temple, Wisconsin, obtained gun legally and passed federal background check. 1L Go, April 2nd, 2012, 7 people killed. Oakes University in Oakland, California, obtained a gun legally and passed federal background check.
Aaron Alexis, September 16th, 2013, 12 people killed. Washington Navy Guard, passed local and state background checks. Jared Lautner, January 8th, 2011, 6 people killed. Tucson, Arizona, passed federal background checks. Don't these statistics speak for themselves?
This is round 2, and this is the first pro reason. Somerville, you get 2 minutes.
First reason, left side,
Wait,
you meant to I know you. Okay, I think we are ready.
Everybody's ready? Okay, you may begin.
Right after Christmas of 2014 in Hayden, Idaho, a mom and her 2-year-old son were walking down the aisles in Walmart. The next thing they know, the child pulls out a legally concealed 9mm Smith & Wesson handgun and fires point blank at his mother. In 2015, at least 13 toddlers have inadvertently killed themselves, 18 injured themselves, 10 injured other people, and 2 killed other people.
A 13-year-old boy shot his 6-year-old brother over a food fight before turning the gun to himself, while his mother was at work. If the gun was locked away and his mother knew how to properly take care of this gun, this tragedy would have never happened. According to everytownresearch.org, after the age of 13, injuries from firearms increased rapidly. All documented towns have 100 unintentional gun deaths in children 14 and younger. 7 children and teens are killed with guns per day. 3,892 kids are killed each year from homicides with a gun. We need to stop guns before they stop us.
According to Procon.org, 200 people go to the emergency room every day with a gun wound. Also, according to NewYorkTimes.com, 10,000 kids get killed each year from guns.
The United States has more accidental deaths than most of the world. In fact, according to USA Today, guns kill twice as many kids as cancer does. Once you pull the trigger, you won't be able to take back what you did, who you hurt, who you killed.
According to Procon.org, United States' highest rate of suicides are 41,149. Also, according to Procon.org, 90% of suicides are by firearms.
58 people commit suicide every day, and according to DoSomething.org, every 16.2 minutes someone commits suicide. And by the end of this debate, at least 1 or 2 people have died.
The conferral period, South Orange Middle School has 1 minute. Get 1 minute. Okay, South Orange Middle School, they'll have the con side for the rebuttal, and they have 1 minute. You may begin.
You might think that less death will occur if we reduce the usage of guns, but when you face the facts, by creating gun control laws, people still exist in the United States that are deprived of the moral code, and they will always find another way to kill someone. So these laws become irrelevant. When the U.S. takes away guns, it will not stop a criminal from picking up a knife to use as a weapon instead. According to the New York Times, at least 8 gunmen had criminal histories or documented health problems that did not prevent them from obtaining their weapons. These criminals took part in the San Bernardino shooting. This illustrates that no matter what gun laws we try to enforce to protect people from murderers, it will not stop death, because criminals are criminals and guns don't cause them to lack the moral code. People kill, guns don't kill. Gun control will never work. Poverty has a greater correlation to violent crime than access to firearms. In short, we don't have a gun problem in the U.S., we have a cultural problem. How's the battle against the black market working out for you in this debate?
This is round 3, and this is the con side for the first pro reason for South Orange, and they will have 2 minutes. Everybody ready? You may begin.
Would you defy the honor of our Constitution? Can you imagine a world without having total liberty? Can you comprehend a place where you would not be able to freely protect your family? Our country was made in the name of liberty and freedom. We, the people of the United States, wrote the Constitution to ensure that we would always have those freedoms, and they would never be taken away.
Freddie Gray, a loyal American citizen, was arrested for owning a gun legally. Was it an act of racial profiling or stop and frisk just because he looked like he was owning an illegal gun? This innocent man died in jail because he looked like he was owning a gun illegally. Now there are political debates in our government about going against our right to own guns.
This debate has been going on far too long, leaving 90% of Republicans voting against gun control and 90% of Democrats voting for gun control. And instead of listening to the voice of people and logic, they are listening to the rivalries in Congress. Nobody suggests taking away cars or going through a battery of tests to determine whether or not you might be a drunk driver one day, says Taya Kyle, the widow of the American sniper who lost her husband according to gun violence.
We obtain human rights as privileged United States citizens, but then when one person messes up, we all get punished. The Second Amendment makes it clear that the people should have the right to own guns. More gun control would directly hurt the Second Amendment, and it is quite evident that more gun control would only hurt us, not protect us. So which do you trust more, the Second Amendment or an empty promise that more gun control will protect you just because the Republican Party and Democratic Party cannot get along?
Somerville, you have the conferral period for 1 minute.
We are ready to go now. If you would like, without any trouble.
You guys have 1 minute for the conferral period. For the rebuttal.
We're good. We're good. We can start now.
Okay, so this is the pro side rebuttal for Somerville, and you have 1 minute. You may begin.
The Second Amendment does say that we have the right to bear arms, but the Second Amendment also states that the right to bear arms must be well regulated. According to the American Prospect, any right can become a subject to limitation if it begins to threaten others. Guns have claimed the lives of thousands and thousands of Americans, and yet the right to bear arms remains inadequate. Why does every other right have a limit? How many more have to die for guns to be restricted?
Having guns for hunting and entertainment is fine. However, debate.org quotes, "We absolutely need stricter gun control. We don't need a 30-bullet magazine clip to mount on an elk." With that being said, the Second Amendment isn't very specific on what kind of guns we should use. Never mind.
The amendment is outdated. When the amendment was written, crime was not a problem. We used to be able to own guns without having to worry about crime and violence. But sadly, gun violence is a problem today. If the Founding Fathers could have seen how many gun deaths we have today, they would have wanted and written stronger restrictions on guns.
I'm sorry, but your time is up.
We're done.
Okay, round 4. This is the second pro reason for Somerville, and you have 2 minutes. Is everybody ready? Yeah. You may begin.
Sandy Hook, Virginia Tech, and the Columbine shootings all add up to 75 lost lives. The names of these schools will go down in infamy.
According to Washington Post, stricter gun control laws could have prevented 90% of gun violences. From 2000 through 2015, mass shootings were carried out by guns purchased legally. Although this means gun control laws couldn't have stopped them, the shooters all had criminal records or mental issues.
Mass shootings have been increasing over the years, but with shootings ranging from Sandy Hook to the Uber killer in Michigan, it is time to make a change. According to CNN.com, one instance of a mass shooting in San Bernardino, with 16 people being killed and 19 being injured. Only 2 people were involved in the shooting. Their names were Farouk and Malik, where a friend applied them with the guns which were bought illegally.
But with stricter gun laws, we could prevent more events like this from happening.
If we count all of the mass shootings back in 2015, there was about 400 of them, with at least 3 or more being injured in every mass shooting. The Washington Post stated there has been 26 shootings in the past 2 months. Also, there's just 2 this weekend. That is a total of 28 shootings. How many will be next?
South Orange will have a conferral period for 1 minute. This is the rebuttal side for South Orange, and they will have 1 minute. You may begin.
It is easy to drink the political Kool-Aid that the numerous mass shootings that have taken place in the U.S. wouldn't have happened with gun control, but this is clearly a deception to the American people. Sandy Hook Elementary School, San Bernardino, Columbine, Virginia Tech, Aurora Theater. These horrific people purchased weapons legally with background checks. So these 97 people in just a mere 5 mass shootings would have still died. Famous peacemaker Gandhi once said, among the many misdeeds of British rule in India, history will look upon the act of depriving the whole nation of arms as the blackest. This argues that if a nation is deprived of arms, it will not have a positive outcome. As stated by Taya Kyle in her meeting with President Obama, the U.S. murder rate is at an all-time low, while gun ownership is at an all-time high. Similarly, enforcing background checks will not guarantee that mass shooters won't purchase guns illegally. Black markets, theft of guns, lack of moral code. Need we say more?
It is now round 5, and we could hear from the con side the second pro reason for South Orange Middle School, and they get 2 minutes. Everybody's ready? Ready? Begin.
Think of North Dakota, a state with 115 towns out in the middle of nowhere with less than 1,000 residents, most without their own police force. Now foresee someone breaking into your house and the closest police station is over 20 miles away. Taya Kyle, mother, author, and widow of the American sniper Chris Kyle, who died to gun violence, lives in Midlothian, Texas, a rural town where there are little police. In this setting, the right for civilians to own firearms for safety and protection has to be of great vertical extent.
The implication is that everyone who owns a gun is using one for ill purposes. In actuality, guns in the hands of peaceful people, people who would only use guns in self-defense, never to instigate violence, could actually make America safer. Think back to the Cold War in the 1980s. The same people who then supported a nuclear arms ban now support gun control. In their eyes, if we got rid of nuclear weapons as a country, then there wouldn't be a war.
Would this have stopped other countries like the Soviet Union from owning and advancing in nuclear weapons? I think not. The Cold War is over and the names have changed, but the principles haven't. You don't fight evil with weakness, you fight it with strength. You are in power and in charge of your own life, and you have the right to protect that. It is your moral right regardless of what way politicians vote. Let's educate, not control.
This is the conferral period. For Somerville, you will have 1 minute.
We don't need a conferral period. We're good. Just say we don't.
No,
we don't.
We don't need one.
Okay, this is the pro side. This is the rebuttal for Somerville, and you will have 1 minute.
Statistics from crime reports show 2 things. 1, the idea that guns are effective in self-defense is an illusion. And 2, it is not an illusion, however, that guns held for the purposes of self-defense end up being stolen and not recovered.
Between 2007 and 2011, only 0.79% of violent crimes involved a victim using a gun for self-defense. According to the LA Times, many people would not have the mental state to shoot an intruder. And according to the Huffington Post, gun owners are far more likely to injure themselves or others than to stop an assailant.
In fact, there have been 126 gun crimes for every 1 time a gun was used in self-defense.
The sad truth is, guns held for the purposes of self-defense do get used, after they're stolen in burglaries. Between 2005 and 2010, 1.4 million guns were stolen. That's 232,400 guns in uncontrolled circulation each year. Furthermore, handguns are the most commonly stolen firearm. At least 1 handgun was stolen in 63% of household burglaries involving firearm theft.
In practice, guns are more likely to put your neighbor in harm's way than provide you with personal safety.
This is now round 6 This is the third pro reason for Somerville, and you will have 2 minutes. Is everybody ready? Yes. You may begin.
The United States has about 88.8 guns per 100 people, or 270 million guns. Each day, someone's life is on the line because of one of those guns.
Gun laws. The U.S. needs more gun laws to be a safer place. I forgot.
You're okay, dude.
According to the Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, 7 states require background checks on the purchase of handguns, 11 states require background checks on the purchase of all guns, and a surprising 32 states don't require background checks on any type of purchase of guns.
Over 100 million background checks are checked every year. Only 700,000 are denied according to FBI.gov. According to liberalplanet.org, 90% of legal gun owners in America are with the Brady campaign, which is trying to get background checks on all guns. 40% of guns purchased in the United States are purchased without a background check. 1 in 30 people on armed lists has a criminal record that prohibits gun ownership. If we have more gun laws, we can limit the amount of guns in bad hands.
One sad story of a mass shooting is a couple that went into a banquet and killed 14 people and 22 were wounded. This is the couple, and these are the people that were killed.
We're done.
South Orange Middle School has 1 minute for the conferral period. South Orange will have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
The less research side may believe that the government isn't taking our guns away, just controlling the purchase of guns. The real debate exists with what Americans are not familiar with. Nothing ever happens on a national scale because of the uncertainty of what gun control will end up becoming. There are states that already confiscate the guns. California, a new gun control law took effect in January 2016 that allows police without prior warning to a gun owner to seize their weapons if a judge decides there's a potential for violence. Washington, extensive registration and cataloging of gun owners exists. A ban of effective styles of weaponry, confiscation of semi-automatic handguns, a ban on sniper rifles, official inspections of gun owners' homes. Then after thoroughly being disconnected from their original right to bear arms, they take everything that is left. Georgia has introduced a bill to confiscate commonly owned semi-automatic firearms. If this has already begun in some states on what is considered gun control, why do you think gun control won't end up becoming a gun ban? I guess it will depend on who gets in the White House, right?
This is round 7, and this is the con side for the third pro reason. South Orange Middle School will have 2 minutes. Ready? You may begin.
What is a criminal? A criminal is someone who breaks the laws, or in other words, lacks the moral code. If a criminal lacks the moral code, they would have no problem steering clear of a background check. They could just walk down the street or buy a gun on the black market. A letter from Harvard Medical School said, one study discovered that the amygdala is not active in psychopaths who are thinking of moral dilemmas, but is active in non-psychopaths pondering such dilemmas. These findings suggest that criminals have little capacity to feel remorse for their crimes or to discern the appropriateness of their actions. This shows that criminals literally lack morality, and it is scientifically proven. Criminals are mentally different than others that will go through a background check because they are good people. Criminals' brains work different than ours.
They already know they can get in big trouble for killing, but they still kill. So what makes you think that the gun control is going to halt their possession of weapon and committing the crime?
According to the research experts, they are the same checks that Connecticut enacted after the heinous December 2012 attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, under the illusion that such checks would prevent a high-profile public attack. They were lured into a false sense of security. Don't insult the citizens of America by saying that having more gun control will stop mass shootings.
Somerville, you will have 1 minute for the conferral period.
We are ready to go. We do not need the minute conferral period.
Guns don't kill people, people kill people. No. There's a reason why there aren't mass shootings in England, Japan, and China like there are in the U.S. According to Prospect.org, those countries don't have the kind of access to firearms and ammunition like we do in the U.S. And no, it's not because of the lack of guns and ammunition. It's because their country's government is smart enough not to put their citizens' well-being at risk. Suicidal and rage-fueled murders won't be as common as they are in the U.S. now if we tighten our grasp on gun control. Adolescents are more likely to kill themselves with a gun than a knife or a couple of pills because it is easier and, sadly, a more effective way than any of the other methods. In these cases, guns are more dangerous in a home than they are without one. Adolescents or teens are very emotional and have very strong, uncontrollable impulses. According to brightfutures.org, having a gun next to a teenager is like having a toaster above your bathtub. It's very dangerous, foolish, and unpredictable. When the wire snaps, there's no recovering from it.
I'm sorry, your time is up. This is round 8, and Somerville, you will have 2 minutes for your statement, for your closing statement. Let me know when you're ready.
Close your eyes and imagine receiving a phone call from your child's school and hearing that there has been a tragic gun massacre. Your child and other students could be hurt or even dead. You wonder how guns are getting into the wrong hands. Appearing at the scene, you see hands covered in blood, body bags, stretchers, and other parents sobbing at the loss of their beloved children. How would you feel if you saw your child with bullet holes in their body or being taken away in a body bag?
America doesn't have a gun problem. It has several of them. Our country has resorted to guns not to protect and serve, but to kill and harm. Other countries all over the world have strict gun control laws with low crime and death rates. The easy access to guns allows criminals to get guns without a background check beforehand. According to gunviolencearchive.org, there have been 33 mass shootings in 2016 alone. Mass shooting numbers are on the rise due to our lenient gun control laws. People say that they buy guns for protections, but statistics prove otherwise. The Second Amendment is a common excuse to keep gun control laws the way they currently are, but people are avoiding the amendment's true meaning. With the amount of gun violence in the United States, stricter gun laws are needed to stop it.
So think again. Would you want to go home to an empty house after your child's brother or sister was shot and killed by a gun in the wrong hands? Would you want to mourn the death of your friend who was murdered at school because of a gun? Would you want to be the next person killed by a gun?
We need stricter gun control now.
South Orange Middle School will now have their closing statement and will have 2 minutes as well. Okay, ready, begin.
Does owning a lighter make a person an arsonist? Does owning a kitchen knife make someone a killer? No. Then why do people think owning a gun makes someone a killer? Jeffrey Johnson brought a gun to the Empire State Building. He was on his way to murder his coworker Stephen Ercolino after getting laid off from his job. Johnson followed Ercolino to the Empire State Building, took out his gun, which he bought legally. Then before anyone knew what was happening, he fired 5 shots.
Jeffrey Johnson had bought the gun legally, therefore more gun control wouldn't have prevented this terrible tragedy. Actually, in 2015, 82% of criminals have bought the gun legally and passed background check. Take the mass shooting in Umpqua Community College. All those guns were purchased legally.
Evangeline Flanagan II shot 2 people on live television. He bought his guns legally and also went through a background check. Dylan Roof killed 9 people in a church in Charleston and bought his guns legally. This proves that even though with the background check, there will still be these terrible massacres.
All gun control would do is break the Second Amendment of the right to bear arms, and criminals still lack the moral code that all sane humans have. So even if we did resort to gun control, they would still find a way to slaughter. Clearly, stricter gun control laws should not exist because it is a direct violation of the Second Amendment. People should have a right to protect themselves and their education. And gun control does not stop crime. Why does this debate even still exist? We must stop drinking the political Kool-Aid that with more gun control that all mass violence will end. Clearly, with our evidence from over the past decade, even with these so-called gun control laws that exist today, these terrible massacres would have still taken place.
So this concludes the debate. I not only want to thank Somerville for taking this risk with us with South Orange Middle School, because this is a huge risk. It's scary. I don't know if I could be in their shoes, and I'm an adult. And I also want to thank the judges. Thank you for taking time out of your schedules. I know you're superintendents, you are assistant principals, you are teachers, and the other classes, and thank you so much for being a part of this amazing experience. Do any of the judges have anything to say to finish the debate?
Mr. Curry, anything?
That was amazing for middle school students to share their knowledge and debate over a very important issue. I was really impressed, and these are skills that each one of you needs to succeed in life. You need to be able to express your viewpoints in an honest way, in a fair way, and both sides definitely did this today.
I'm just going to tack on real quick. It's very, very impressive to always see folks in the middle school. Hey, real quick, Somerville, what grade is this? 6? A little bit of everything? Okay.
We are 7th graders.
7th graders, okay. All right, so it's always difficult, and I know maybe 2 or 3 of you came up and you were like, no, I can't do this. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? This is one of the most hardest things that you could do, and debating in front of everybody in that auditorium, and that's a big auditorium, all right? And you're talking to a bunch of people from around the state, actually around the country right now, so don't feel bad. It's okay. We all choke up. We're not masters at talking in front of everybody. My other recommendation, too, would be for on both sides, some of you are so passionate and you're so fired up about what you're hearing and what you're talking about, you got to slow down. Because if you don't slow down, at some points I was trying to process everything that I was hearing. But Maplewood, incredible job.
South Orange. South Orange.
Nice. South Orange, I'm sorry, that's right, South Orange, that's right. Sorry about that. Very nice job. The folks down in the Ville, very nice job as well. I hope Ms. Bulgeris and that whole crew is doing very well. And thank you, Mrs. Butler, for such an opportunity. Appreciate it.
I also forgot to thank the parents. I know that all of the parents from my class, they're watching live right now with the link, and I know that Somerville also put the link out as well for their parents and for other people. So thank you to the parents as well, because I know you're watching. Thank you.
And we have time for a statement real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, so I was that the buddies and the statistics are actually very, very the competitions that we've been to, none of the so great job on that. And the opening statements, they were both really
very, very good.
I love the yeah.
Does Nick's school want to say anything quickly?
Hi.
Mr. Diaz?
Hi, Mr. Diaz had to step out, but I'm Mrs. May, and I thank you so much for this opportunity to watch some older students debate and to see what it means to really research a topic and be passionate about it. I'm actually a former attorney, and I have to tell you that a lot of you guys would give some attorneys a run for their money. So if this is something you care about, keep it up. Great job.
This concludes the debate. Everyone have a nice day.